Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Friday night after the Taraweeh Salat at the Masjid Adarul Ma'arif al-Islamiyya in Kareli, Allahabad, UP, India. Friday, the 2nd of Ramadan 1444, corresponding with the English date 24th of March 2023. First, Hazrat Wala just starts off casually before he actually recites the ayat of the Quran by saying that there are limits and hudud and boundaries in everything that we do. We can't go to extremes and surpass those limits and go into exaggeration. A person is sitting in i'tikaf, he is in nafal i'tikaf, his father passes away, but it is made such that he cannot even leave the masjid. Therefore, ulama should not be negligent regarding these type of things, otherwise it creates major problems and we go into a different direction. Hazrat thereafter reads the Ta'awuz, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Wash-Shamsi wa Duhaha, Wal-Qamari idha talaha, Wan-Nahari idha jallaha, Wal-Layli idha yaghshaha. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking oath, I swear by the sun and its broad light. وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا, it follows, and the moon when she follows it, when she follows the sun. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا, and by the day when it shows its brightness. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا, and by the night when it envelopes the day. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا, and by the sky and the one who built it. وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا, and by the earth and the one who spread it. وَنَفْسِ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, and by the soul and the one who made it well. By the soul and the one who made it well. So the soul and the one who made it well. So this nafs and this soul Allah Ta'ala has made so well and so perfect that in this body, this safra, soda, khun, balgam, all of these are in such perfect proportions that if it goes against the design and designated proportions that Allah Ta'ala had desired for it, it is then at that time that a person will become sick, or rather even leave that, a person will pass away. You see, the tib was brought to us, and medicine, by the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam, and by means of wahi. Similarly, zira'at was brought to us by the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed us to come into this month, the month of Ramadan. Okay, let's continue. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, then inspired it with its instincts of evil and piety. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already from before he even commissioned the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam, in fact before Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam even came, there were already people who understood what was correct and what was incorrect, because a person, these are tabi'i and natural things. A person can understand that I should not kill someone. A person can understand that I should not do this or that or the other. So these were all natural things. But then too, after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made insan understand it by means of his nature. But then too, Allah ta'ala was not satisfied. Rather, he sent the Quran, he sent the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam, so that all of this year could be further established. You see, the month of Ramadan has come for this. Your namaz, your tilawat, all of it is so that you can have tazkiyah and purity of the soul. And what is most effective in purifying the soul is that of tilawat. Yes, by means of zikrullah, a person will become acquainted and there will be a magnetic effect for him. Sheikh Madyan stopped Allama Dahlan from making tilawah, due to which there was a huge outcry. What kind of a sheikh is this here? He's stopping a person from making tilawat. But nevertheless, he done this year because he understood the logistics and studied the case, etc., that at this point in time he would not be able to tolerate. Rather, he put him on to dhikrullah until such a time that his capacity was built to a certain level, and then he allowed him then to start with tilawat of the Quran Majid. At this point here, when he allowed him to start off with tilawat and recitation of the Quran Majid, then what happened? The oceans of knowledge and recognition of the ayat of the Quran Majid then started overflowing and started coming his way. Hazrat Wala also speaks about ضبط قوة الشهوية والغضبية هو التصوف. For a person to restrain and for a person to confine and limit the power and the strength of his lust and his anger. This is actually the essence of suluk and tasawwuf. So Allah Ta'ala goes on then to say, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Success is really attained by him who purifies it, who purifies this soul, this nafs of his. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. And failure is really suffered by him who pollutes it. كَذَّبَتْ ثَمُودُ بِطَغْوَاهَا. The people of Thamud denied the truth because of their transgression. إِذِمْ بَعَثَ أَشْقَاهَا. When rose up the one who was the most wretched of the lot. And what did he do? He went and he hamstrung, cut the legs of that particular camel, the camel of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were the same people who asked Salih alayhi salatu wasalam for this. And as a miracle, from the mountain, this hard rock, this camel then emerges. And then they were told to look after it because it is the camel of Allah. Rather, they should not prohibit it from the right of her to drink. فَقَالَ لَهُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ وَسُقْيَاهَا. So the Rasul of Allah said to them, be careful of Allah's she-camel and her right to drink. فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَعَقَرُوهَا. But they belied him, they denied him, they rejected him and killed her. فَعَقَرُوهَا فَدَمْدَمَ عَلَيْهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ بِذَنْبِهِمْ فَسَوَّاهَا. So their Rabb sent eradicating torment upon them and made it equal for all. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then punished them and in such a way that nobody then remained. وَلَا يَخَافُ عُقْبَاهَا, and he has no fear of its consequence. Hazrat Wala is saying, I went to South Africa and I was brought into a gathering of such type of people, prominent businessmen, but they were so far away from ulama that ulama hardly met them and they hardly ever met ulama. Nevertheless, at that time, before I was going to give my talk to them, Majlis, this cause, it was decided that who would recite, and from amongst them, there was one of them, the youngster there, the son of one of them, who was blind, but he was made to sit on that chair. He was a Hafizul Quran. He recited Quran to them, and I used that as my topic, and then I started speaking that look at this here, that who has been given the honor today? The one who had by-hearted, memorized, learnt the Quran. He has got the grand honor to sit amongst all other people. So when you make qadr and appreciate the Quran, you will be appreciated. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to say, when you make izzati of the Quran, when you do not appreciate the Quran, you will not be appreciated. فَنَبَذُوهُ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِهِمْ, they took the Quran and they threw it behind them, they put it behind them. Nevertheless, I am actually speaking about this also here because I'm deeply affected by the recitation of my grandson. And what can I say? That I send him to you people. You all taught him the Quran Majid. Alhamdulillah, he is reciting better than me also today. So a person, even when reciting Al-Quran, he starts off with A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. That even though he may be reciting Quran, some type of calamity and destruction can go to him. So even at that time, before undertaking such a meritorious and great ibadat, that of reciting Quran, a person seeks refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all of this here we do it so our ibadat and ta'at, so we can be protected from the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We want the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma ardina warda anna. This is a very great dua. Oh Allah, you please us and you become pleased with us. Another dua, Allahumma inni as'aluka sihhata wal iffata wal amanata wa husna al khulq wal ridha bil qadr. Oh Allah, I ask you for the best of health and chastity and trustworthiness, amana, and good character, warridha bil qadr, and being pleased with predestination, that whatever comes from your side, being pleased with that. This cause is a wonderful cause, a 1 month long cause, and the maqsad and the objective is to get closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by being blessed with la'allakum tattaqun, that of taqwa. When the soul becomes clean and pure, and taqwa, the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pours and enters into it. Now let us make dua. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad. Allah ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of reciting the Quran in the most correct and proper manner. Ramadan has come here as an exam and as a test for us, and we have to at this time be very alert and see how we're going to spend this Ramadan. You people have came, you are staying here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of this here and make the islah of one and all. Allahumma inna nas'aluka as-sihhata wal-'iffata wal-amanata wa husna al-khulq wal-ridha bil-qadr. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.